My father once said. It is also something that I personally have been thinking about for many weeks now and throughout this campaign. And as I consider what God has planned for me and indeed for our great nation in the future, my father did once say, our children may learn about the heroes of the past, but our task is to make ourselves the architects of the future. Well, indeed, my father and those who work closely with him to liberate our country are indeed my heroes. I often think about what they would say about the last 4 years of my presidency, whether they would be proud of what I have done, and what advice they would have given to me. But what I know, without any doubt, is that they would be proud of their country and us as its people. Our forefathers would be proud of the progress we have made together, of the resilience and strength that we have shown as the Kenyan people when faced with hardship and adversity, and even when confronted by the very face of evil itself. Because that, ultimately, is the spirit of the Kenyan people. I am thoroughly encouraged by the resilience of our people. We don't run away from challenges. Instead, we embrace them together. Our history as a nation is defined by our ability, time and time again, to unite and achieve the impossible. Not to simply complain from the sidelines. Our forefathers understood that all too well. And that same Kenyan spirit is as alive today as it was during the struggle for our independence. I also think about whether I live up to their call that we serve as architects of the future. I have spoken many times during the last few months about how I have worked hard, day and night, over the last 4 years to lay the foundation for building a strong and prosperous Kenya. But the truth is, we have worked together as a people to lay that foundation. Every single Kenyan has played his or her role as an architect of our future. We have young entrepreneurs carving out our nation's new job-creating 21st century economy. We have mothers battling the effects of drought to continue to put food on their families' tables. And we have builders forging thousands of miles of roads, railway, and electricity to connect brother to brother, sister to sister, mother to son, farmer to market, and business to consumer. I know that many Kenyans are still struggling, and we have much more work to do. But I am encouraged to see the spirit of the Kenyan people every day. The spirit of architects laying the foundation for our nation's future prosperity across every corner of our country. I know our forefathers would be proud of all of us as their children. It is indeed this spirit that I want all of us to reflect on as the national general election campaign comes to a close. Because the job of an architect also comes with enormous responsibility. Each and every one of us is charged by God and by the legacy of every great Kenyan who has lived before us to care for one another, to love one another, to always consider the consequences for the future over the passions and ambitions of the present. If our fathers were here today, sitting next to us, I am certain that they would urge every Kenyan to do what I am about to implore. We are all Kenyans. Our mothers and fathers all struggled so that we would all have a better Kenya and a better future. They gave us the greatest gift any son or daughter could ask for. They gave us a home. They gave us our beautiful nation. They were the architects of our future, and that stewardship of trust has now passed on to us. We must not, and I repeat, we must not disappoint them. No matter the result of this election, we must stand together as one people. Above all, we must reject intimidation. We must reject violence or any attempt to divide us. Kenya is the only home we have. It is the only home we know. Our children look to us to show them the way, to pass to them a country that is in a better state than that was left to us. We must not disappoint the founders of this nation, and equally, we must not betray our children. My final thought is this. As we look to the future, I am confident that brighter, happier, more prosperous and peaceful days lie ahead for all Kenyans. I see a future where everyone can share in the wealth and prosperity of a modern 21st century nation. A nation where everyone has access to a good job, where everyone can afford to have a decent meal, and where every child is guaranteed a quality, free education, so that the place where you were born will never determine the quality of life. A nation where mothers and their babies can lead a healthy and happy life, where you can travel from one corner of our country to the other in hours, not weeks. And a nation where every family feels its life is safe and its property is secure. Fellow Kenyans, better days lie ahead. Yes, we have more work to do. But as Kenyans, as architects of the future, we can all be proud that we have made progress in laying the foundation for building a great nation, a stronger, safer, and prosperous country for all Kenyan citizens. I believe our founding fathers are proud of us all. As I conclude, mine is to ask every single eligible citizen to turn out tomorrow in great numbers, do that which our democracy entitles you to do, vote for the candidates of your choice. But my plea is that as we do so, let us do so in peace. Remembering, as I said yesterday, that after you cast your ballot, please go home. Go back to your neighbor, regardless of where he or she comes from, their tribe, their color, their religion. Your neighbor is your brother. Your neighbor is your sister. How you have voted should not in any way reflect or change the manner in which you have related to your neighbor. Shake their hand, share a meal, and tell them. Let us wait for the result. For Kenya will be here long after this general election. May God give us peace. May God give us tranquility. And may God protect this great country and her people in the future. I thank you.
Well, there is President Uhuru Kenyatta and the incumbent